All right, welcome back to our video series on creating a COVID-19 data analyzer. So in this video, we're going to focus on, we can kind of refactor our code just a little bit and create a class to store the data. This is primarily because we're going to be writing different methods that we want to work with the same data set on. And so rather than having like functions that take in the data set and then return the data set, things like that, we're just going to create a class. We'll load the data set once, store that into an instance variable, and then use the class and the class definition. So that's the basic idea. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to go ahead and refactor. So I'm going to make a class. I'm going to call it, I don't know, I'm going to call it COVID. And I'm going to make our init method. And I think I will have it take in the file name. Yeah. Because, so like I said before, we have the confirmed cases, but then we also have, we have the death cases, the number of deaths. And so we might want to do analysis like on them both. And so we could like make a COVID object with confirmed cases, and we can make a separate COVID object with the deaths, and then kind of run them that way. And then we might actually want to do something where we like work with them together, right? Who knows? So this way we can kind of think of a COVID object is a data set, and so we can work with that. All right, so we're taking the file name. And all the init's going to do is it's going to make some variables, and then we'll have we're going to eventually call self.load data and pass in the file name. So that'll be kind of the plan. So I'm just going to say self. Let's see here. Let me think about what I'm going to have to reuse. I'm going to want dates, right? So I'm just going to say self.dates equals none. I'm going to have self. Let's see here. Our data here, we actually were loading, right? Our data dict. Let's call that, let's call that US data. And we'll make that an empty dictionary for now. Yeah, that'll be it for now. And then we'll go ahead and write our load data method. And it's going to take in a file name. And so then what we'll do right here is we'll just, basically this code will say, well, with open file name as file. And then I'm going to tab over. I'm basically going to tab like all of this over, actually. I'm just going to grab all this code and tab it all over. Cool. So reader equals CSV reader. It's going to be that same dates. So we'll go ahead and set self.dates right here. And then we won't use data dict anymore. We'll go ahead and do self.us data date. We don't really need to print that anymore. So for line in reader, so do we have the same thing? Yep, we do. So we'll say self.datesI, and then date equals, yep, self.datesI, nums I. So this again, we don't have a data dict anymore. We have a self.us data. Cool. And then we won't print anymore. Instead, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and make a. We can make a dunder string. I'm just going to do a show method right now. And so what it's going to do is it's just going to, let's do a print self.us data for now. All right. Okay, so to test, I'm going to go ahead and do my if dunder name is equal to dunder main. And then we'll just make a new, we'll say C equals COVID. And we're going to give it the CSV file name from above. So CSV file name. And then I'm going to do C dot show. Now remember, this load data method is actually getting called inside of our init method. So when we create our COVID object, C in this case, it's going to generate these variables, and then it's going to call this load data method. And so all this should happen, and then we're just saying show that data. So let's test this out. Now notice, again, I'm in my virtual environment. Right now, if you don't have matplotlib and SciPy and NumPy working, it's okay. You can still do all this without that, but we'll need to get that in the next video, I believe. So you need to be working on that. So let's here do Python. And somebody pointed out that they're on a Mac and they have Python, and it's actually Python 2, so you may have to type in Python 3 here. I think it works either way. Like if I type in Python 3, mine will definitely work. I think on Windows it'll work too, but so Python covid.py has an attribute load date. Oh yeah, good point. It's load data. Load data. Let's try that again. Dates is not defined. Yeah, I can believe that. Self.dates. Where do we say dates? For date in self.dates. Cool. So this is really common when you refactor, is you miss a few things here and there. So just a matter of reading the error and responding to it. Okay, cool. There we go. And so now we can see that starting on January 22nd, in the US we had one case. And then as of March 21st, which I'm recording on March 24th. You're watching this on probably March 26th. So this data is getting a little old. I'm not going to worry about that just yet. Once we start the analysis part, then we'll go over. Once we get everything working, then this load data is going to do either we're going to do something different than file name here, or we'll write a separate method that gets the latest version of the file and loads that. For right now, you should be fine using this confirmed data. Again, yours, if you did this, if you downloaded on March 24th, which is probably being downloaded, then your dates will probably be all the way through March 23rd here. So your numbers will be different, but the process is the same. So that's it for this video. We just did a little bit of refactoring, right? We created our class. We now have this COVID class, which should probably be called, like, I don't know, let's call it CovidData. All right, I'm going to call it the CovidData class. Make sure that didn't break anything. Cool. And so yeah, we have this CovidData class where it's loading in from the CSV file, and it's not doing anything new yet, but that's it for today. So, or for this video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.